After spending the past week exploring Ahmed, we made our way over to the island of Nusa Penida. We took a van transfer to Padang Bai and then did a short ferry crossing to the Penida port. There are plenty of things to do and see on this island, but we've come here for one very specific reason.
Good morning. We are heading out on 2 fun dives today here in Nusa Penida. We're going to Crystal Bay and Manta Point. We've made a couple of attempts over the past few months to see mantas while diving and it's just never happened, so we really have all of our fingers crossed that today is going to be the day. Manta Point is known for having, anywhere from, well, I guess no mantas, but 1 manta to like 20 mantas. You just never know what you're going to get. And I guess the past few weeks the weather hasn't been that great and the waves have just been too strong, so they really haven't made many trips there. So we're also hoping that the waves and the weather cooperate so that we can actually get there today. We're taking a bit of a shortcut this morning, cutting a path through the jungle, and it should pop us out pretty close to the dive center that we're diving with. And then we're hoping to grab some food and some coffee before actually getting to the dive center.
I got Nescafe latte. Coffee in a can. It's not great, but it gets the job done.
We then made our way to Cafe Organica for breakfast. There was a family of kittens, so naturally there's no footage of our meal, just plenty of these little guys instead. Once we finished breakfast, we head over to the Indo Ocean Project dive hub to gear up before heading to the boat. This was our first time wearing a 5mm wetsuit, and while they weren't the most comfortable thing to pull on, we would definitely be glad to have them once we were underwater.
Hi, I'm Jen, your paint master.
Once on board, we checked all of our gear and then set off on a pretty intense boat ride to the first dive site. As I mentioned before, the weather hadn't been very cooperative over the past couple of weeks, and the waves today were quite large. We were catching some serious air. There were a few moments we thought they might even turn the boat around, but thankfully we were able to push on. We were so excited to get in the water at this first dive site, but also had some nervous anticipation. We really wanted to see the mantas, but with Dave's tough time on our dive last week,
and my ear started getting a lot of pressure, and then I just started vomiting underwater.
We were also hoping for a smoother experience today. Almost immediately upon descending, we came across a group of 5 blue-spotted stingrays resting on the sandy bottom. You can also see the moment I spot a Titan triggerfish and immediately distance myself from this notoriously territorial fish. As we made our way toward the cleaning station, we spotted a large shadow moving through the water ahead of us before disappearing into the blue. As we continued forward, we made our way over the reef, spotting lots of colorful coral and fish, and even a blue-banded sea crate, which we later learned is about 10 times more venomous than a rattlesnake. Definitely glad I didn't follow it too closely. We finally arrived at the cleaning station and were greeted by not 1, but 2 mantas. The way they gracefully move through the water nearly takes your breath away. There's something almost otherworldly about watching them glide so effortlessly, their massive wings cutting through the current with such calm and control. It's the kind of moment that makes you forget everything else. And then you do a tank pressure check and realize Dave's hit his limit and needs to start surfacing. I was able to stay down for a few more minutes and watched as a giant manta swam right toward him. It's also during this clip that you can really see the strength of the surge that day, pushing the divers back and forth a few meters at a time. I had just enough air left for one last encounter with the manta, and it was the closest it had come to me yet. I couldn't stop smiling as I started making my way to the surface with one of our guides. We climbed back onto the boat and made our way toward the next dive site, Crystal Bay. We began our descent, wondering how this site could possibly top swimming with mantas. And then we saw exactly why Crystal Bay has that name. The water was the clearest we'd ever dived in before. The coral was unreal, so colorful and teeming with life, like this snowflake moray eel cruising along the bottom. We spotted a mantis shrimp, some fun-looking trumpet fish, and even a lionfish. And then, as we drifted over the reef, we came across a green sea turtle nestled into the coral. And not even a minute later, we spotted our second sea turtle, this time a hawksbill. As we neared the end of our dive, we came across a school of barracuda. They swam back and forth across the reef until suddenly they were all around me. It might have been my favorite moment from this dive. After our 3-minute safety stop, we surfaced and climbed back onto the boat. There was a group of researchers doing some dive training, and it was fun watching them practice rescue drills while we got settled back on board. Overall, these were both incredible dives for their own reasons. Swimming with mantas was a surreal experience, and something we've both been dreaming of for a long time. But mantas aside, Crystal Bay was our favorite of the two sites. The water was crystal clear, and that kind of blue that doesn't even seem real. The coral was the best we'd ever seen, and the wildlife was incredibly diverse. We had the absolute best time diving with Indo Ocean Project, and would highly recommend them for your next dive in Nusa Penida. That's it for our time in Nusa Penida. Next up, we're heading to Kuta, where we'll be trading in our dive gear for surfboards. And as it turns out, we aren't the only ones trying to catch our first waves. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.